This is CNN.
On CNN Sports Late Night, we'll brave it on the West Coast. Tom Glavine tries to become the major's first 19-gamer, while the Astros try to make a game of it against the Dodgers and help Atlanta. The Pirates let the cards fall where they may as the magic number watch continues, and the news is good on two fronts for the rising Red Sox. Football features Jackie Sherrill and his jump start in Starkville. Tennessee gets the word from the NCAA on its violations, and Pats owner Victor Kiam needs some coin fast.
Hello, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us for this edition of CNN Sports. I'm then Earl Wright.
I'm Bob Lorenz. Let's start this show with a little music.
Musical theme?
Sure. Now, if it were up to me, I think I would favor like a medley of maybe Led Zeppelin and Bob Goulet tunes. Van Earl, how about you?
Nice combination. I would prefer Frank Sinatra and the blues, but none of those guys can compare with the hits the Dodgers are putting out these days. They're once again the leaders of the West because the rock and roll trio of Murray, Straw, and Daniels continue to produce the big hits. Going into their game tonight against the Houston Astros, those three had combined for 50 RBIs during the month of September. Tonight, it was Eddie who sang lead as the Dodgers maintained their half-game lead over the Braves in the National League West. And there he is, the leading singer in the bottom of the fifth, changing a 2-1 Astro ball game into a 3-2 Dodger ball game with that two-run shot over the wall in right field. Top of the seventh, LA up still 3-2 when Jose Tolentino rounded a tough one to Juan Samuel. He could not make the play at first. A run scored. They were knotted at 3. Bottom of the seventh, same score. Mike Sharperson at the plate for the home team and flaring one into shallow right field. Brett Butler raced for the plate and scored easily because Steve Finley's throw was way up. LA up 4-3. Top of the ninth. LA still holding on to a one-run lead and looking to Steve Wilson to save it. And he did. But he got Rafael Ramirez to ground into a 6-3 game-ending double play. LA picking up yet another victory and helping Mike Morgan pick up his third consecutive decision. And it was also his 13th win of the year, and that matches a career high for him. Steve Wilson with his second big save for the second straight night. Down the coast at the Murph, the Bravos fans were on hand, chopping up the Padres, and so were their team in the top of the first inning as Atlanta erupted for 5 runs off 7 hits. They went in with dead bats. They were alive after the first inning. There, Sid Bream with the RBI single. Still in the first, Rafael Belliard with the 2-run double that plated Bream and Olsen, and the Bravos had a 5-run lead after 1/2 of an inning. Bottom of the third, they were leading 5-2, and the Padres, with the man on first, facing Tom Glavine, but Glavine working the DP with shortstop Rafael Belliard, providing the defense. Bottom of the fifth, still 5-2 Atlanta, and more defense. This one turned in by third baseman T.P. Terry Pendleton lit the gun to first. Bream with the tag. Greg Riddock came out to argue, and he was gone from the contest. Never saw the end, and thus never saw Tom Glavine become the first 19-game winner in baseball this summer. He will now look to become the first Braves pitcher to win 20 games when he takes the hill Sunday afternoon against the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. So, LA's lead in the West is still a half game. Now, if this race happens to end in a tie, a one-game divisional playoff will be played at Dodger Stadium. That's because LA General Manager Fred Clare made the correct call today when National League President Bill White tossed a coin in his office. And it came up heads, and the Dodgers host the one-game divisional playoff if it's necessary. Tonight at the Stick, San Francisco pitcher Trevor Wilson was a one-man wrecking crew for the Giants with a 5-hitter and a 2-run single to help San Francisco beat the world champs.
Somewhere at the end of a very short rainbow, the Pittsburgh Pirates will find the Eastern Division title with their name on it, but that's still about a week away. Tonight, at the end of a rainbow throw, the Pirates won their 3rd straight and reduced their magic number to 6 games. Some 9th-inning heroics were in store for the Cards, but first, in the 6th inning, St. Louis up 5-2. Barry Bonds with a base hit to right field scores Bobby Bonilla to make it 5-3. And then later in the 6th, Steve Bushell roughs up Bryn Smith with a 2-run shot into the left field seats. And we're all tied at 5. And it would stay that way until the bottom of the 9th. Cecil Espy will dig in. And you know Cecil doesn't like to be called Cecil. And maybe he won't hit it as far as Cecil Fielder, but it's far enough. Ray Lankford's underneath it. And here comes that rainbow throw to home, but Orlando Merced is at the end of that rainbow and in safely as the Bucks win it 6-5. Roger Mason pitches a perfect inning and a third to record the victory. If you're counting, the Bucks East lead is up to 11.5 games, but magic number is just 6. Hey, how are the Mets doing? Gone, mathematically eliminated tonight against the Cubs. In the first inning, Frank Viola roughed up again. George Bell with a base hit into left field. That'll get Ryan Sandberg home, and the Cubs lead it 2-0. And then in the fifth, still up by 2, Mark Grace at the plate, and he'll take his turn against Frankie V. This time he tries the other field. Sends one down the right field line. Howard Johnson. Hey. Well, that allows Doug DeCenzo to get in. DeCenzo 4 for 4 with a couple runs scored. Grace is into third, and the Cubs are in with a 4-1 victory over the Mets. Greg Maddux, a 5-hitter for the victory. Meanwhile, Viola lost his 7th straight decision in 10th and 11 tries, prompting manager Bud Harrelson to say Viola might consider not pitching again this season. Frankie V says he will go again. He's no quitter. And Terry Mulholland outdueled Dennis Martinez in a matchup of no-hit pitchers. Even in the loss, Martinez lowered his ERA to 2.35 and took the National League lead in that department away from Cincinnati's Jose Rio. And, of course, another guy in that ERA sweepstakes is Tom Glavine, a 19-game winner for the Braves.
No doubt about that, and a big reason why they're still contending here in September. The American League report is straight ahead, and it contains the answer to the question, did the Jays see their lead in the American League East shrink again?
And later, a visit to Starkville, Mississippi, where a pack of mad dogs have taken over the town. And that guy is responsible.
Sports Late Night brought to you by Levi's 100% Cotton Dockers. Relax. You're among friends.
So, Jimmy, my man, you ever miss being a civilian?
You mean banging my head against the wall to get ahead? Going in hock up to my eyeballs for the right house or the right car? No, I don't miss it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Well, maybe I miss the cars a little.
Relax. You're among friends. Levi's 100% Cotton Dockers.
Fact. Ford offers performance that's supercharged and turbocharged. Fact. Ford offers 16, even 24-valve engines. Fact. Mustang GT, Pro GT, Thunderbird SC, Escort GT, and Taurus SHO make up the best-selling line of performance cars, American or import. Call it leadership. Call it winning. The simple fact is, Ford is #1. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Welcome back to the American League now, and I guess you could say the Toronto Blue Jays have been slip-sliding away in Seattle, or at least their division lead has. At first pitch tonight, the Jays had lost 3 in a row, including a pair to the Mariners, while seeing their East lead drop to a shadow of what it used to be over the red-hot Red Sox. Toronto trying to turn it around in the Kingdome. Scary moment, top of the ninth. Dave Parker with the single. Ken Griffey Jr. comes up firing, and Rob Ducey at the plate nails Scott Bradley. He was unconscious when he hit the plate. On the replay, you can see he nails Bradley's mask, and he is already gone. Ducey taken off the field on a stretcher. He is in the hospital overnight for observation, but they say he is okay. Top of the 11th now. They go to extras. Game tied at 1, and Greg Myers rips the 2-run double to right. A pair come around to score, and the Jays take the 3-1 lead. Hey, do you think Seattle's done? No. Bottom 11, Tino Martinez to right field. This will score Griffey to tie the game at 3. There's Pete O'Brien gone at third base for the first out. Now to the top of the 12th. Jays with a 2-run inning. Kelly Gruber, the base hit into the gap in left center. Roberto Alomar scores to break the tie. The Jays go on to win this thing 5-3, the third straight night that the Jays and M's go to extras. Finally, Toronto prevails to keep their lead at 2.5 games. The Red Sox were strong again tonight against Baltimore. Look at that. I'm getting a little hungry. How about you, Van Earl? Little chicken feast. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Sox. Jody Reed paints one down the left field line. With 2 outs, John Marzano's in, but Joe Ursulak comes up firing. And Wade Boggs is gone at third. Top of the 6th, with the Sox leading 6-2. A bit of history as Cal Ripken rips the solo homer deep to left field, number 30 on the year, becoming only the 4th shortstop in history to hit 30 home runs in a single season. Still top 6 now. Chito Martinez, the ground ball to first. Movon plays it, feeds to Dan Petrie. Dan, and he is Dan, look between your legs. He's safe, Dan. Dan, he is safe, Dan. Bottom of the 8th now. Sox clinging to a 1-run lead with 1 out. Luis Rivera lays down the squeeze, and it's a beauty. It scores Steve Lyons, and Boston is in, winning 7-5. Clark with his 24th homer. He needs 1 more to join Bobby Bonds as the only major leaguers to hit 25 home runs in a season with 5 different clubs. Now, there was concern by the Red Sox on the part of Mike Greenwell, who fell down last night rounding out a ground ball. It was feared that Greenwell might need surgery on this after this play in which he fell down, but as it turned out, the diagnosis is a strained right groin muscle and knee ligament. He is the Red Sox RBI leader this year. Doctors feel Greenwell could be back within a week. Now to Cleveland's Municipal Stadium, Tribes and Tigers. How'd you like to have that guy as a house guest? Don't think so. Bottom of the first in the scoreless game, Albert Bell base hit to right, and Pete Incaviglia promptly turns it into a triple. Thanks, Pete. 2-run score, and it's 2-0 Tribe. And Inky says, you know what happened was the moon got in my eyes. That's what it was. It was the moon. Tigers come back to tie at 2, top of the 5th. Cecil Fielder at the plate, and the big man whiffs. Charles Nagy makes Cecil look a little goofy. Then bottom of the 6th, Carlos Baerga hits a fly ball to right. Alex Cole will tag and score from third, and that is the game winner on the slide as Cleveland wins at 3-2. And boy, do those Tigers' woes continue. For the first time ever, Detroit goes winless in Cleveland for an entire season, and Bill Gullickson denied becoming the game's first 19-game winner. And Roberto Kelly with a pair of home runs. His second was the game winner leading off the 10th as the Yankees beat Texas 2-1. Benno?
Well, Bob, maybe it wasn't a done deal in the AL West after all. Tonight, the Southsiders from Chicago continue their recent climb up to the Twin Peak by shutting down Oakland for the 2nd straight night. Pitcher Jack McDowell and his 5-hitter, the Stars, as the White Sox moved to within 6 games of first-place Minnesota in the division. A cold, chilly night for Ozzie Guillen and all the folks on the south side in Chicago. Bottom of the 2nd, Sox filling the bases for that same chilly Ozzie Guillen, but he looked hot right there with career hit number 1,000. Turned out to be a 2-run hit, and it turned out to give the Sox a 2-0 lead. Top of the 4th, still up 2-0. Check out Jose Canseco on first. Harold Baines popping one up. Routine, right? Canseco, not exactly routine. Clueless, Grievous, your meat, pal. Get out of here. Bottom of the 6th, Sox up 3-0. 2 on, 2 outs for that same Ozzie Guillen, and he slapped one into left field, and Willie Wilson was even more grievous than Canseco. Bo Jackson scored. Scott Fletcher tried to score. He was gunned down to the plate, but it didn't matter because the Sox shut out the A's for the 2nd straight night and handed McDowell another distance victory. This one his Major League leading 15th of the year. Both the Chi Sox and the Twins have 15 games left, including 6 against each other. Speaking of the Twins, they lost for the 6th time in 8 tries, thanks mainly to some sloppy defense that keyed a 6-run 6th inning for victorious Kansas City. Since his 12-game winning streak, Minnesota pitcher Scott Erickson is 6-5 with an ERA of just under 7. The Elements prevailed in Arlington and denied the fans a chance to watch Ryan battle Finley. Doubleheader tomorrow for the Angels and Rangers. Kind of unique stat there for Detroit against Cleveland. Winless against the Tribe on their home field. I'm sure they're glad to get rid of those folks.
And of all the home runs they've only hit 1 in Municipal Stadium. That's real strange. By the way, I said the Yankees beat the Rangers. The Rangers were rained out. The Yankees beat Milwaukee, but Texas and Milwaukee, they're spelled so similar, I get them confused. Still to come, football news of the day, and the axe drops on Tennessee. But how heavily is the key issue? The Volunteers play by the NCAA's rules during a recent probe. And today, the verdict was read as to how much Tennessee should lose.
Whoa, 50 Studebaker.
Yeah.
Hey, we had one of these when I was a kid.
Weird.
Yeah. The other kids called it a stupid baker because it looked the same from the front as it did from the back.
And that's a classic.
Right. Hey, I should buy it and put a sign on it that says, "Now who's stupid?"
I don't know. Could you put the sign on the front or the back?
Oh, cute.
Relax. You're among friends. Levi's 100% cotton Dockers.
And while we were outside, Brian Kelly said Hillary Olsen wasn't any fun and I shouldn't play with her. But I played with Hillary Olsen. Mommy, when Grandma's 100 years old, how old will I be? Look, the moon! Daddy, drive faster, the moon's following us. Anybody want to hear me count to 500? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, look, McDonald's. I love
chocolate shake,
McDonald's.
please.
Chocolate shake. I love them. It's my favorite thing in my.
Want to know who's on top in college football? Get a look at the USA Today's CNN Top 25 on College Coaches Corner. America's top coaches recap the action from their point of view Sunday morning. Then, if you want action, it's NFL Preview with Vince Cellini and Buddy Ryan. Outspoken, provocative, and insightful. The day's first look at the pros. A full hour of football. College Coaches Corner, NFL Preview. Sunday mornings at 11 Eastern on CNN.
United States Olympic Committee President Robert Helmick has been under fire ever since it was revealed he had business relations with Olympic-related clients. Well, he put out that fire today by announcing his resignation effective immediately. The 54-year-old Helmick has been USOC president for the past 6 years and a member of the International Olympic Committee Executive Board since '89. The IOC is still deciding how Helmick's resignation will affect that position. In his resignation announcement, Helmick stated that this trial by media had made it impossible for him to continue to function effectively.
Victor Kiam's days as owner of the New England Patriots appear to be numbered to the tune of $38 million. That's the lump sum payment he must make to partner Fran Murray by October 10th. If he does, the team is Kiam's, no problem. But if he doesn't, Kiam stands to lose the team. Control would go to Murray, who would run the Patriots with help from the NFL until another buyer is found. Well, come this Sunday, Kiam and Murray will be rooting for a new quarterback, Hugh Millen, who's replacing Tommy Hodson. Patriots haven't scored a touchdown since the first quarter of their first game, and head coach Dick McPherson says that justified making a change. Millen is considered to be bigger and stronger armed than Hodson, and about anything will help. New England's only scored 22 points in 3 games. Now the latest from the Jesse Solomon swap shop. The linebacker spent just 2 days with the Patriots after being traded by Dallas Cowboys Monday. Tonight, Solomon is a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after New England dealt him for a 5th-round draft pick next year. Some think that the Pats were mere middlemen between Dallas and Tampa Bay because they weren't allowed to swap Solomon straight up. The Cowboys, though, deny any knowledge of any middleman. And finally, to Eagles camp, where wide receiver Roy Green has landed. A veteran was cut during training camp by the Cleveland Browns after spending his first dozen NFL seasons with the Cardinals, rewriting their record books. Green will fill in for Calvin Williams, who separated a shoulder last Sunday and is expected to be out 3 to 4 weeks.
Over the next 3 years, new NCAA rules will require all schools to reduce scholarships by 10 and coaching positions by 1, and that goes for all football programs across the country. So next year, schools will be allowed just 92 scholarship players. However, for Tennessee, they'll have to deal with 85 scholarship players because today, the NCAA placed the volunteer football program on 2 years probation for recruiting violations. However, the folks in Knoxville are breathing a collective sigh of relief tonight because thanks to their cooperation with the investigation and their own remedial actions, the NCAA decided not to impose the full force of the sanctions. So TV is still in Tennessee's future, as is any possibility for bowl appearances.
I was hoping that nothing would happen to the young men on our squad who was not involved with this situation, and I think we have a good future ahead of us, and we're ready to move on.
As players, there's nothing that we could do about it. You know, worrying about it wasn't going to make it any better, wasn't going to make it any worse. So we just put it off and try to come out here and win ball games.
You know, we've got our punishment, and we can live with that, and now we're just can look forward to the rest of the season playing. Our SEC schedule starts this weekend.
Something strange is happening in Starkville, Mississippi. What was a place closer to Slumber Town in terms of football has become Rumble Town. In fact, the entire city has been taken over by a pack of mad dogs. But as CNN's Jim Huber tells us, the citizens aren't running for their lives. Instead, they're having the time of their lives.
There is a bottom line with football coaches, and then there is a line just short of bottom. Jackie Sherrill left Pitt in a cloud of controversy, but he left them with 50 victories in his 60 games there. He left Texas A&M reeling midst an NCAA purge, but he left the Aggies with twice as many wins as losses. And now, after 2 years of selling automobiles, he is back working at both of those lines, the bottom and the one just shy, this time at Mississippi State. He has heard the adjectives, all of them: liar, charlatan, cheat, hired gun.
The Jackie Sherrill that the people outside it doesn't know is one person. The Jackie Sherrill that people know is somebody else.
People keep talking about his reputation. The only quotation I've ever seen from anybody who claims to be able to judge him is another coach.
I promise you, we had done our homework, and you know, certainly I knew it was going to change the image or change the outlook of what people thought Mississippi State was.
The detractors call it the selling of a school's soul, and that school's president bridles at such talk.
They know that Mississippi State has made a commitment to excellence. They know that we expect to have a quality program, and they're shocked.
The real shock came in Sherrill's second game as the Bulldogs, with an average of just one conference win the last 10 seasons, upset 12th-ranked Texas. It verified what the man had promised, not only to the school and a rejuvenated student body, but to new assistant coaches like former Rice and Vanderbilt head coach Watson Brown.
I've been in a lot of losses in the last 7 years at the places that I've been, and I was ready to win some football games and to learn, and it's really been good for me.
I really didn't know what to expect because I had never met the man. I just heard about him, you know, and it was kind of shaky at first, getting to know him, but once you get to know him, he's an all right guy.
He is a legend, and like some legends, it's often difficult to tell myth from fact. And there are times in Jackie Sherrill's life when that suits him just fine. He would just as soon you not know.
There's a mystique there that, you know, you can say all these things, but there is a mystique. And just like Texas, when we lined up and played Texas, Texas wasn't playing Mississippi State. Texas was playing Jackie Sherrill.
There will be, this time, no mystique when it comes to the NCAA, however. It is mere coincidence, but delicious irony that Mississippi State is in the early stages of erecting a new safety net with the NCAA's help.
They've been on our campus 2 times now at our invitation. And we're going for a certification of a program that is run in the proper way.
And the proper way includes that bottom line. And no matter what you think of the man, there are few around who reach that line more effectively than Jackie Sherrill. In Starkville, Jim Huber, CNN Sports.
Now, Sherrill has stirred up State with such ideas as using student volunteers for his Mad Dog kickoff teams and by holding Monday morning chalk talks in front of any student body which cares to show up, and a lot of them do. Now, stay with us. We've got hockey news plus a play of the day you have to catch.
Some banks make a big show of rolling out the red carpet for you. But most every weekday at 4 o'clock, they roll it right back up again. 4 p.m. What a time for a bank to close. Wells Fargo is the only major California bank open 9 to 6 every weekday, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 a.m. Wells Fargo comes through when other banks don't.
Pick up line 2. I need that fire now. Line 4. Find the blueprint. What's the architect?
The power to put it all behind you. To kiss all the stress, all the stomach-churning headaches of business goodbye. That's the power of United. That's the power of the friendly skies.
For help with your vacation, call your travel agent or United Vacations.
It's GMC Trucks Summer Show and Sell. We'll show you this summer's big selection of new GMC trucks, like this new SLT Jimmy with standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes and elegant leather trim interior, the sporty Sonoma, Safari with available full-time all-wheel drive, or Sierra with the highest resale value of any full-size pickup. Then we'll sell you with big summer values. GMC Trucks Summer Show and Sell. Find out what's happening at your GMC truck dealer today.
We have some hockey news for you. It wasn't free at all, but the Pittsburgh Penguins are happy to have one of their key free agents under contract for a few more seasons. Right wing Mark Recchi came to terms after Penguins owner Edward DeBartolo Sr. personally got involved in the talks. Recchi's agent said that was a key to sealing the deal for his client, who was the NHL's 4th leading scorer last year. Recchi scored 40 goals and added 73 assists as Pittsburgh went on to win its first ever Stanley Cup. He was talking with the Philadelphia Flyers, too, but reportedly got a deal for around $1 million per season. On the flip side of the puck, don't expect to see Scott Stevens in a Devils uniform anytime soon. Stevens says there is no way he's going to New Jersey after he was awarded to the Devils as compensation for St. Louis signing free agent forward Brendan Shanahan. Stevens was captain of the Blues last season in his first year with the team. His agent says it's highly possible Stevens will sue the NHL to test the legality of its free agent system. Banner? Oh, I'm sorry, and this from tennis. Don't try and steal that story. There's no way Boris Becker will play for Germany against the United States in this weekend's Davis Cup semifinals. The reason is quite clear. Becker has a bad back. But when he'll return is a clouded issue. Tennis officials claim Becker has been practicing and will return to the men's tour September 30th. But Becker's manager, Jan Tiriak, says his back trouble is career-threatening. So we'll get back to this story if any new developments occur. Van Earl.
You got all the stories tonight, didn't you? Time for the Wednesday night edition of Play of the Day, and just like last night, it's a baseball pod, but unlike last night's, it contains no violence. Just the quality use of the leather, featuring the handiwork of a certain Mason. Roger Mason on the Pittsburgh Hill, robbing Gerald Perry of the Cardinals with some nifty glove work. Hey, no problem. Just like Stefan Edberg and Yvonne Lindell in that semifinal match from the U.S. Open, I'll go behind the back for the easy putout and the Wednesday edition of Play of the Day.
Play of the Day brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Escort owners talk about the new Ford Escort.
From the 87 to the 91, it's 100% difference.
I would definitely buy another one. It's a good, solid car, and I think it's a good value for the price.
I was really surprised at what we were getting for the price we paid. I'm really happy with the quality and the value, and my husband loves the way it handles on the highway.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 10.
Right now, Ford is offering low financing or special savings on all new Escorts.
Thanks for joining us. That saw the lead remain the same in both of the tightest division races. The Dodgers still a half game up on the Bravos.
That's right. Toronto wins. Boston wins. Toronto stays 2.5 up on the Red Sox. If you want to see any other scores, they're coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Lorenz.
I'm Van Earl Wright. Thanks so much for watching.
Just ahead on CNN Overnight, live coverage of Russian President Boris Yeltsin's scheduled address to Parliament.